The 2025 Argentine MotoGP has returned, and I've got to say I'm not really a big fan of the Argentine Grand Prix. The famous Rio Hondo circuit isn't really my cup of tea since 2014 even. The only race that I remember being very exciting was only 2018, where by the finish line, Cal winning the race ahead of Johan, and then Reigns in third, claiming his first ever MotoGP podium, and also Jack a further fourth. Jack Miller, he was on pole in that race. It was a really tricky condition. I mean, it was wet and then dry and then a bit of a wet again, but then until the end of the race, I don't think it's really that wet. And yeah, Cal winning his third and final MotoGP race. And boy, I think that was it. In 2016, it was a bit interesting knowing that there was a flag-to-flag race, and the battle between Marc and Valentino back then, it was mega. It was heated because, you know, 2016 Argentine Grand Prix being the second race of in 2016, and it was still fresh from the 2015 Sepang, the Sepang clash, the infamous Sepang clash. So it was a bit of a heated battle in there before the flag-to-flag. Of course, after the flag-to-flag, Marc just sailed away and crossed the line in P1, I think by 5 seconds maybe. I don't really remember the gap. And also the two Ducati tangling. Other than that, I don't really remember the Argentine Grand Prix being that interesting. In 2015, Marc was already sailing at the front, and I think it was just the last 8 laps that Valentino was starting to catch him, to catch Marc, and then the collision happened, and then that was it. So the Argentine Grand Prix returning to the calendar, I don't really welcome it that much. Argentine Grand Prix, as I said earlier, hasn't really been my favorite. Now, with the intro out of the way, let's get to the main topic, and here's my take on the 2025 Argentine Grand Prix. It's another clean sweep for the Marquezes. I mean, it's just a carbon copy result from 2 weeks ago in Thailand. Pole position, fastest lap, sprint win, main race win. Marc just took it all in. He left nothing on the table. As did his little brother. Alex just did the exact same. Even how the race was going, the main race was the exact same. Marc was having a bit of a trouble at earlier in the early stages of the race, and then Alex was briefly leading for a few laps, and then Marc trying to catch. Marc is really like playing along, just not playing along. He's playing around with the other 21 riders on the grid. It was an absolute exhibition from the Marquezes. I think Julia Marquez is going to smile so big for this entire season. As I said in my previous commentary, Alex Marquez, I don't really see him as being that consistent. He didn't really have that consistency throughout his Premier Class career. This is his 6th season, by the way. He was a rookie back in 2020, 5 years ago. And now it's in his 6th season. He never really pulled together a strong and steady season. It was just meh. Whenever he is on an upward trajectory, something happened, either crash or just a wrong setup, and etc. I mean, he is a double world champion, okay? He was a 2014 Moto3 as well as the 2019 Moto2 world champion. So he did know how to put that consistency in. But for some reason, ever since he is in the Premier Class, that's never going to be the case. Look at him in 2020. Like, he did score 2 back-to-back podiums, 2 back-to-back second places from Le Mans, the wet Le Mans, which was won by Danilo, and then the race one in Aragon, not the Tyrrell round. I think it was the Aragon. The Tyrrell round was the next round. So back-to-back P2, and then followed by back-to-back crashes. Consistency has never been his main thing since he stepped up to the Premier Class. This time he managed to do a back-to-back second places again in the first few opening races. Let's see how he performed in the circuit of the Americas. Will it be another Marquez 1-2? I don't know. The Super Marquez Bros. It is not Super Mario Bros anymore. It's me, Marc. The way I see it now, there is no stopping for the Marquez brothers. It's another flop and a loss of form for Pecco Bagnaia. It was just devastating. I'm a big fan of Pecco. course, he was a back-to-back champion from in 22 and 23. And if we discounted the result of the sprint, he was actually the champion also in 24, and by a large margin too. But for some reason in 25, he lost his form. He's lost his mojo. No correct setup. He lost the feeling with the bike. The most recent news that I read, he really lost his form. He didn't have any feeling with the bike. The rear tire was just sliding all over the place, and it's not really looking good for his championship aspiration for this season. Of course, he would really love to take that #1 plate back from Jorge Martin, but it doesn't seem to be the case right now. Mark is just unstoppable. A lot of people just like mocking Pecco, like, oh yeah, of course he's a double champion when Mark isn't on the best bike. And now that they're riding the same bike, the very same spec, the differences in the skills just got exposed automatically. I disagree with those comments. Pecco this is just typical Pecco. Pecco has never been really that good, like hitting the ground running. Maybe he did win the first races of each 23 and 24 season, but the very next race he just lost it. So this is like typical Pecco. So I think we really need to see until Jerez. Jerez is just his happy hunting ground. 3 wins in a row from 22, 23, 24. Let's see if he can make it 4 in a row in Jerez. But for the next 2 rounds, like Circuit of the Americas, he never really excelled there. Qatar, maybe he could win, maybe there will be some tight battle with Mark, but we'll see. But as far as I'm concerned, Thailand, Argentine has never been his strong circuits. He did win last year in Chang in Thailand, but it was under a very tricky circumstances. It wasn't dry, it wasn't even really that wet. So even Mark crashed last year. So yeah, it was really tricky last year to judge. If Pecco really wants to take that #1 plate back, he really needs to take a step back and reconfigure the setup, everything, try to reflect on his performance. And I think then, and only then, his previous form will return for the remainder of the season. Thousands of days since he last stood on the podium, Franco Morbidelli, a very warm welcome to the podium again for the Italian-Brazilian. 2021 Jerez, that was the last time. That was the last time he stood on the podium. On board a 1-year-old Yamaha bike, the Petronas. He was being teammate with Valentino back then. He was still riding the Petronas. It was before his critical injury, that knee injury that took his form like for the past 3 years. He was never really in form in 22, 23, 24. That knee injury really haunts him, I think. But now he's back. But we don't know for sure if it's going to be just for this race or will it be for the remainder of the season. This will be Frankie's form. Will Frankie says relax? I don't know. I think it will be proven in the next week in the Circuit of the Americas. And then after that, I mean, the Circuit of the Americas is a really demanding circuit. If Frankie flops there, then we can be doubted for a second that his podium in Argentina was just a one-off. If he excels at Kota, I think he will be one to keep an eye on for the rest of the season. Another mature ride from Agura, P15 to P8. He was riding such a calm race, calculated, he doesn't look like a rookie at all. He looked like a mature rider, a veteran. It was a really beautiful ride, let's just say, from Agura. Riding that Aprilia, again making me questioning why that Ralph Fernandez nobody still having that seat. Why? How has he not sacked yet by that team? Is it because his nationality? Again, I don't know. Imagine him riding that Ducati. I mean, Ducati's biggest mistake. I always say that Fermin Aldeguer is Ducati's biggest mistake. Ducati just like rushfully signed him at the end of 23 just because he was winning some races, and then Ducati I think was expecting this Aldeguer kid to win the Moto2 title last year, and then he flops. He flopped badly, only winning I think 1 or 2 races. And then imagine had Ogura taken the seat. Imagine him riding that GP24 instead of Aldeguer. I think he will be fighting for podiums now instead of just like a P5 or a P8. But all of this maturity, all of this beautiful ride, masterclass ride are denied by software infringement. Software infringement. Well, this is the age of the homologated ECU, so everyone needs to have the same software. Nobody's above the other. That just sucks. I don't think it's fair to rip him the points, that 8 points that he fought for during the race. I think it was supposed to be just the constructor, the manufacturer standings that it's not supposed to be counted. That 8th place is supposed to be the 15th place. No, it's not 15. It is 15th place, done by that Fernandez nobody. It's just unfair. Ogura is just a shame. I hope it's not going to ruin his mentality going to the next races. I think it's going to make him even stronger coming to the next races. He's now on fire. He's pumped, and I believe he will bounce back. The Honda are genuinely back. Why I'm saying the Honda are genuinely back? It's not because it's just Johan putting that RC213 fee inside the top 6. No, it's just not that. Also, it's not just because he was starting in P3, standing next to the two powerful Ducatis of the GP25 of Mark and then the GP24 of Alex. It's because basically all of the Honda riders are excelling, the senior Honda riders, excluding Somket, of course. Somket is a rookie. He's still trying to adapt to the bike. But all the senior Honda riders, Johan, Luca, Johan, they are all inside the top 10. Okay, you might say that Luca finished in P10, he's classified in P10 just because I was disqualified. But even then, it was a P11. It was just one before P10. And the most important thing is that Luca didn't bin it. He actually finished the race, showing that RC213 isn't really as a beast as the last 2 seasons. It's becoming a more and more comfortable bike to ride. Even, if we look at the statistic last year, it was looking very, very ugly for Joan Mir. How many retirements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 retirements in 22 rounds, excluding the sprints. I don't count the sprints statistics. In 23, Joan did even worse. He missed a lot of rounds. Also, Mark missing a lot of rounds. So the development of the RC213 is looking very, very good now. They're going in the right direction, I guess. But we'll need to see again at Kota. Kota is a very demanding track. It's really eating up the tires a lot. In Argentine, it's just cloudy, not really tormenting the tires, let's just say. But at Kota, we'll see for sure. If Johan managed to put another top 10 Honda, be it qualifying or even the race, he might crash. But if he does put that Honda inside the top 10, I think we can safely say that the Honda are back. I'm very looking forward to see the development of the Hondas this year, and yeah, I think that's it. That'll be my commentary for this episode, for this 2025 Argentine Grand Prix. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section, and maybe we can have some bit of a civilized discussion. Like and subscribe for more, and until we meet again.